the Geek Room community as well. I mean, I know them personally, and they are very professional people. So they can also tell you more about this role, how you can get into it, etc. But yeah, um, please make like I'll be very honest. This projects which you're building, if you put them in your resume, you'll get exciting offers. I guess obviously you'll have to uh, be technical and know about the AI fundamentals. But yeah, I mean this sort of gets you in good eyes of the recruiters and everyone. So yeah, I mean we are the team behind building live AI systems. If live AI seems to be a jargon as of now, it's simply that AI that works with live data. So you have your chatbots, you have your RAG projects, you have your agents where it works with real time data. So today's goal is like I'll show you what real time RAG is, why it matters, and how you can build apps with Pathway. We'll do a hands-on demo itself. I mean, I'll walk you through the uh, basic. I'll walk you through a lot of problems which you encounter while starting with Pathway, maybe from installation issues to how you can use a particular connector. Like uh, so, I mean, one important thing before we begin is to use our Discord. It's our Pathways Discord where it's a chance to introduce you to a very cool audience. We have got AI researchers, senior software engineers who are working with godfathers of AI. Uh, I hope you know them, right? And we have the top talent from various companies across the country in this server across various countries, not India, but yeah, so make your intro count. I mean, tell us who you are, what's your experience with RAG and real-time data pipelines, and then at the end of the session, I'll also tell you about an internship opportunity we have for you. Obviously, the bar for that internship is very high, but yeah, if you start by building these projects, we'll be very happy to accommodate you. So let's build, learn, and have some serious fun. So yeah, I mean, what's on the deck today? It's about Pathway. What's the special ingredient? What is real-time RAG? We'll see a live demo where you'll build your applications using Python. We don't want to complicate stuff for the hackathon participants by customizing these applications using YAML. And then I'll reveal. Obviously, the problem statement is revealed, but I'll slowly walk you through exactly what exactly you need to build to win this hackathon. We'll compare different frac frameworks if we have time, and obviously then we'll open the floor for some question answers, your doubts, and I'll share the closing remarks with one of the teams from uh, with one of the members from Geek Room, concluding this workshop. Is this going to be a workshop today? Yeah, this is a workshop. I mean, okay, so Bhavani has raised their hand. I think it was probably some issue. So I mean, I'll quickly tell you like LLMs like GPT, Gemini, all are very powerful, but obviously there's a their knowledge is frozen at their training time. Like before, like 1 year back, GPT could not answer whatever was there. Now the GPT can obviously use various tools like web search tool, etc. But that still means that GPT cannot be trained in real time. Whatever is happening today, it has to use those APIs only, and it does not stay in its neural network weights. The live information which is there, it is not embedded in the neural network weights. That means that they miss today's news, your latest company's documents, your professor's lectures, the changes in the IoT sensors, etc. So even static RAG solutions often need rebuilds. Like if you have seen some, chatbot, you would see that during each week um, there's a particular timer set where you reindex all the documents which are to be added, fresh to keep your LLM's information fresh. But nowadays static rack solutions often need rebuilds weekly, and which creates a lot of lag. If your team is working with a lot of volatile and high velocity data, then you need some framework like Pathway. So what are we exactly promising? At the end of this hackathon, you will build a live AI application. So live AI means simply that your answers change instantly when the data changes. As soon as the data changes, Pathway will see that, uh, you know, let's say you are asking a question on a professor's notes. Now a professor secretly changed um, a, a particular document which contains a very important answer to your question. So now with a framework like Pathway, you will be able to immediately alert yourself that yes, there was a change in the document made by the professor secretly, even if he wished to fail you. But yeah, you used a framework and you knew how to use AI, and yeah, you got the alert and then you gave the correct answer. And those people who were using other frameworks like LangChain and Llama Index or other frameworks, they probably failed the exam, right? So imagine an AI assistant that ingests data continuously. It indexes it on the fly. I'm hoping that there are some jargons here if you don't know about this RAG and chatbot field, but believe me, even if you pick anything in the open innovation track also, you would be easily able to incorporate pathway there. So yeah, I mean, three things about pathway. It is very simple, it is simplistic, and it goes to production. I'll not explain in detail, but you know about ETL and RAG. You can probably ask GPT what it is. But ETL simply means it's data enters from one particular system to another. So between two data systems, there is a let's say a source, like maybe you are asking questions from your Google Drive connectors, or you have your data saved in your local file data directory, or maybe even a source like Salesforce, HubSpot, etc. And then you are just taking your data, transforming in between, like let's say applying simple operations, operations or transformations like addition, submission, uh, you know, um, multiplication, etc. And then you are probably calculating standard deviation, let's say, right, on that data. And then so this is all about ETL. It says extract, transform, and load. Talking about drag, it's I think I'll probably give chance to someone from the geek room community, because everyone I think is building AI applications. I don't know, Pratham, do you want to tell about drag?
Okay. So to explain RAG in simple terms, it means retrieval augmented generation, right? So for example, you want ChatGPT or any other LLM to only answer based on a certain book or a certain set of data. And sometimes ChatGPT does know about very famous books, but for example, if your college just added a new set of books, it won't know about it, right? Plus, there are, even if it does know about it, there are chances it might answer from somewhere else. So RAG is this technique through which you are able to basically chunk your data. You do a process called vectorization on it. You store it in this thing called a vector DB or somewhere else, and allow your LLM to basically access that data and only answer based on that data. And now this thing is made pretty easy to code out. So if you do want to learn it, which you should after this stream, if you don't know about it, then you should also search it and just check out the basic fundamentals of it. Very easy to code out now.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's actually a very great explanation, Pratham. Thanks. So yeah, I mean, as Pratham said, you should probably check out RAG. I mean, if you don't know RAG in 2025, then it's a problem. But you need to obviously know about various agentic frameworks. How to increase the efficiency, accuracy, and how to put those systems into production so that you're able to get hired by some companies. And then yeah, so I mean, see, this slide probably might be very overwhelming as of now. But yeah, I mean, this sort of explains pathway in one architecture diagram. So at the core is our streaming Rust engine, which you can see in the center of the slide, which means that you do all the computations in Rust language. But obviously, for a developer like you need to build applications using Python. So it's very easy. Ingest data from 300 plus data sources. Pick anyone for a hackathon. Pick one or two maybe, and from external API sources like maybe Y Finance, Alpha Vantage, or other maybe API sources like Archive. And it ranges from external APIs to different file systems. Maybe you have some documents in your Google Drive or your SharePoint, or how you can connect Kafka. So, I mean, that's a hint. Whoever uses Kafka will probably win this hackathon. I mean, those who are probably setting up the entire Kafka system, or at least creating artificial data streams and then saying that the streams originate from Kafka, and then you are sort of ingesting the data which you created using the artificial data stream, and then you are putting it into an LM, to make it queryable for the user, for the end user. So yeah, I mean, as you see on the upside, it says AI pipeline. You can write they handle your indexing part, and then you can obviously serve it via REST API endpoint. I mean, again, so sorry for the jargons, but I'll probably share this slide after the hackathon, after the session, and then you probably could look at the slides. And if you still have doubts, you can ping to the Get Help channel. I'll share the links in some while. So mainly you power live analytics that you can create a dashboard sort of thing. You can create chatbots out of that transformations which you did. So basically, it's sort of an enabler. Simple. Here's the quick mental model. You have the pathway pipeline. You have the document store or the vector store, like which Pratham mentioned. You use an something known as a vector store or a vector database, right? And then the flow goes from document store to the retriever to the LLM, and then after the LLM gives an answer, you expose it to an UI, right, using Streamlit. So sources can be anything from APIs to databases to IoT sensors to file systems, right? So I mean, this is a very interesting slide where, because you know that AI is sort of a black box, it's sort of a Pandora's box, right? But then you need something known as a retriever to retrieve information. That is where engineers like you and me come into picture, right? Where sort of you can design engineering aspect, right? You can probably play with different components in the RAG side, in the retriever side, but LLM is fixed. I mean, you can use obviously Gemini or the most powerful uh, model out there, but you may not still get the accuracy because your architecture, which is sort of chunking the documents and then creating those embeddings and then storing it somewhere, you know and then retrieving it. These steps may be that you have bad engineering diagram or bad system design skills, and you designed a bad system. Even with the most powerful LLM, you'll not be able to get answers. So, I mean, I would recommend you going through various, strategies to improve accuracy. That is where, a lot of recruiters or, AI engineers see that this person knows how to increase the accuracy of the rack system. And, the solutions may not be a lot intense. It can be as simple as increasing the token size or maybe changing the embedding model for your particular use case. All right. So, I mean, this is the heart of a real-time RAG pipeline. Obviously, in the left-hand side is the data sources. Let's break it down. One is the write path, one is the read path. I mean, I hope I'm not overdoing stuff. I mean, someone from the Geek Room community, we probably need to skip to the problem statement. You can let me know if this is getting too much information. Like,
No, I think this is fine actually. Maybe you can also, like, after this, discuss some ideas you have in mind regarding the problem statement.
all right, all right. I'll probably go to that after explaining the slide itself. So, next slide, actually, we have the problem statement link itself.
Got it.
So, yeah, thank you. So you start with your documents in various data sources. You use a document parser. You would obviously know a lot of this stuff if you're already into this space. But if even if you don't believe me, it's not that difficult. You can probably go to various document parsers like doclink, um, unstructured library, etc. And then basically what it does, it sort of parses the data and makes your data Gen AI ready. And then you parse the content and then you obviously vectorize it. Vectorize is simply some mathematical donations which your LLM understands. So that way, the in-memory indexing part engine, which continuously indexes all the information, like as soon as you add another PDF to your Google Drive directory, it will exact like it will parse the document again, chunk it, index it, and then it will be ready for retrieval. So, and then at the end of the day, you can expose your application via REST API service, right? Yeah. So I mean, this is how Pathway turns your a lot of disconnected, unstructured files into sort of a live intelligent system, which in production line with zero delays, and it stays fresh. So yeah, next up is our problem statement. It would be better if we get more knowledge on Pathway, so we get to know what more can be done using Pathway. Yeah, I'll share the slides. Even if you have more doubts, we can obviously host more sessions. Um, but I would recommend starting with the hands-on module itself. I can obviously share some resources if you also want to deep dive into the ETL part. But yeah. I have some links in place, so don't worry. Just stay connected. Um, so obviously the link to the problem statement is there itself. There are three tracks here. One is the open innovation, where you can work with any domain of your choice, be it healthcare, be it finance, be it IoT, logistics, manufacturing, uh, you know, be it anything like maybe a cybersecurity, right? So anywhere where you see that live data is coming up, right? You can take any API source and then you can use one of the pathways, HTTP connector, to sort of ingest that data from the streaming API, or you can use pathways, Google Drive connector, or pathways file system direct connector, right? There are 300 plus data connectors, so you can probably choose a particular data source, then start from that, right? Anything which shows live updates. Second is obviously fintech solution, live AI fintech solution, which probably means that you need to handle, live pricing from various APIs, maybe some news, maybe incorporate some fraud detection module, or even put an LLM in place where you can ask about, uh, summarize today's stock price, right? Tesla stock price, or maybe Apple stock price, based on various sources. Then third is the cybersecurity anomaly watcher. You can maybe detect, suspicious logins, spikes, data theft. This is one of the direct um, this is one of the innovations where I also have less seen less projects built using Pathway, but yeah, you can go ahead with this as well. So I mean, as Pratham was saying, what you can build with Pathway. Let's say if you choose a particular domain which is IoT or logistics, Pathway is already used there. You can probably go through some of our blogs. There you'll get an idea how is Pathway used there. Even if you don't find any blogs, what I would recommend is that see you do a simple Google search, like how you can stream data from your IoT sensors, into an LLM. Like that sort of Google queries. You're smart enough, right? So example, you have a line watcher where you are streaming the machine telemetry. Like let's say you ask to an LLM, why is this line B particularly slow? Hana? And then you get real time answers because this line was probably damaged, or maybe this machine or line B was under repair. So this particular thing will obviously involve your LLM to check for the latest information, which was probably updated half an hour back. Obviously, if it was a solution you built using other frameworks, you would need to wait until the batch updates happen, like the weekly batch updates, which I talked earlier, right? Even same as, let's say you detect fridge temperature, right? You detect why is the fridge temperature suddenly spiking at 2 a.m. Or let's say because the explanation was door was open at for 12 minutes during that time. So you'll probably understand that all this data is coming from that you're monitoring your refrigerator, right? Using a sensor. And that kind of monitoring, transformations where an alert is sent can be done very well with Pathway. Okay, another use case in logistics. Let's say your truck is moving and you need to check the ETA, right? Obviously, you know that any Rapido parcel or any Uber parcel which you do, or Uber, it shows you the ETA, right, of your ride. How does that do that? How it works? It probably has sensors in different place, and then it takes the data and then it predicts based on the traffic, right? Or maybe the satellite data. So this is how AI explain anomalies instantly. Like, so this is what you can build in the IoT logistics manufacturing side, which I would be very happy if you build. Second is finance. In finance, obviously you've seen people like a lot of bankers where speed is everything. They are obviously on a lot of coffee, and nowadays it's getting uh, a lot more volatile, a lot more you need to predict a lot in less time. So some of the applications here would mean that you're probably ingesting maybe live news, right, from a particular source, and then you're asking what's new for Tesla at, let's say, 12 a.m. So there it will obviously because you have ingested the live news and you're continuously ingesting the news. The previous news, which is outdated, it gets removed, right? And you have the current answer. Or this is quite a good example. Second one, payment guard. Let's say unusual spend is flagged, and you need to detect credit card fraud. So with obviously a natural language reasoning where you need people like a simple user to explain to them what exactly happened. So you'll connect um, all these data which is coming from this fraud detection, or you're implementing a core ML model, and then you are probably giving a explanation in English language, which is easier for me to understand. Third is also very important, that where you are working with compliance documents. Let's say there are new SEC filings coming up, and you need to understand whether the company which I am operating in is legal, is doing something which is legal or not. Then you would obviously uh, need a system where you can query and where it keeps ingesting the new SEC guidelines every day, right? And it would stop you from doing anything risky. So that is the sort of application which I am saying. So if you see from the judging lens, or what a judge would see in your solution, obviously from now I've been blabbering a lot about real time live AI aspect, which is obvious. Once a particular update happens, you need to show the before and after of the application. Like, once, let's say, you put another PDF file in your file system connector, you need to show how exactly the change was parsed, indexed, and then how exactly your answer to the particular question changed. Let's say if I have a PDF file which talks about your, let's say it talks about pathway. It has a proper PDF file which talks about pathway, right? And then if I'm asking what is pathway, tell me more about it in detail, then it should obviously take the information from that PDF document. But now let's say you deleted that document. Now the query stands invalid, right? You're putting the query and now the answer should not come. Otherwise, obviously, the LLM is switching to its own information, and then it is giving about pathway from maybe a web search. That is separate thing, but it should not probably take any information from the private. Or if you, let's say, question about what is llama index, obviously now there is no PDF file about llama index, right? Because the PDF file which you ingested was about pathway, so it should not give an answer. But once you, let's say, put another file which talks about llama index, you should completely see the answer changing, right? Second thing, pathway should be used, it should be incorporated for maybe the ETL side and the indexing side. So these are the two components where you can use pathway. Obviously, you can plug in AI agents in your solution. I'm not stopping you, because a lot of innovation is happening there as well. Keep the solution simplistic. You should probably target a very clear and simple problem. You should have a story and a simple, or maybe a sophisticated UI. It's up to you. Very much bonus points for who shows a short demo clip. It is mandatory, but it gives you a lot of brownie points if you show the before and after update, right? So that is exactly what the judge will look, that whether you are using pathways streaming ETL or the indexing components. And then if your problem statement is clear, right, the usual hackathon thing, and then you provide the demo clip showing the before and after update. If you have any questions, you can ask, because this is very, very important. So Vaishnavi is asking a question. So we can choose our own topic with any domain, and it should be hardware or software. It can be anything, right? I mean, I don't exactly get what you mean by hardware, but if you're, let's say, getting the data from that hardware and then you want to analyze that data, then pathway is the way to go. You can choose anything in any domain. I don't want to restrict your applications, but it should use pathway. Okay. Um, So choosing your stack, obviously you can use any LLM. Gemini provides $300 free credits. So even if you don't have an OpenAI key, that is not an excuse. For retrieval, you should probably maybe check out different indexing strategies. Maybe it's a BM25, it's U search, or it's a simple KNN search, right? No external database is needed. Even if you're using databases like Quadrant, Pinecone, Viviate, your solution would be discarded, your solution would be disqualified. The only hybrid index which you need to use is pathways. Obviously, you can use agents, you can use LangGraph, you can use Crew AI. If someone is in your domain, you know how to work, you can incorporate Pathways MCP server. The article is there. You can see it on the website. I'll obviously send a starter kit even if you have not started building your solution today in the group itself. Getting help. How do you get help? What's the correct way? One is to follow the hands-on module first. Like I'll walk you through the section right now. If you don't get the exact thing working in your system, you can probably ping me, or you can ping anyone from Geek Room. He or she will connect you to me, right? But before, you need to understand that you need to follow these steps so that you're able to build a real-time application using OpenAI or maybe Gemini. You can go through any of this two applications. If you don't have OpenAI key, then you can probably go to that. Second, if you have a good technical doubt, let's say you have the uh, you know a clear outline structured made for your solution which you want, which domain you're working with, and what all exactly you'll point, you can ask people on the Get Help channel, of Pathway. I gave the link on the WhatsApp group. I'll again give it as a reminder today. But believe me, if you want guidance, people are there to guide you. But you need to be specific. You need to be specific what you're asking, because there are serious AI researchers who are spending their time on this Discord, and I would want some seriousness from your end to ask questions on Get Help channel, which involves more technicalities. If let's say it's a simple installation issue and you are encountering it multiple times, then you can also post that. I would not stop you from doing that. But then after you try building this application first. Obviously, I provided these links in the afternoon. We'll pin that particular chat, and then you can probably go through these two sections. And this section is particularly very easy for you to follow to understand what exactly is happening. So you'll obviously understand what is. I'll tell you about this in some while.
So for absolute beginners, would you recommend some topics that they should first also learn and then see how to implement it with Pathway?
So that's actually very important question and an interesting question, because this hands-on development section which is present in our bootcamp on our website is exactly designed for beginners. So if you probably follow from how you can create your first RAG pipeline, it's very beautifully explained what all changes you need to do in your app.py file, so that you're able to get a final end-to-end working program, right? Or if you are on Windows, so that is a very important. Pathway is not currently compatible with Windows. It is compatible with Linux operating systems, or maybe Mac OS, or even WSL. You can use that. But for Windows users, I mean, this is sort of a drawback of our framework, you can say. But you need to install Docker. But the pro, the advantage of using this is because you'll get to containerize your application, and that is very good to put on your resume. If you are building these applications in Docker in your college, I think it's very helpful in your resumes. So here it's defined very clearly what all you need to study. But even if let's say someone wants to is not very acquainted with Pathway, and then if they want, I would say start with this user guide. I mean, it takes 1 hour to read through the entire thing, but you'll get a lot of things. Like, let's say, what are the core concepts, right? And what are the starting examples? You can go through the developer documentation. It's written Pathway in minutes. It shows quick ETL examples, how you define your schema for your data connector, what is your data connector, how do you apply transformations, and how do you run the computation at the end. But if you want to immediately start with building chatbots, you need to follow these step-by-step instructions. I have replicated this multiple times in my system, and it works completely. Is this mandatory to include? Yeah, I mean, that question was answered a while back. Yes, it is mandatory. Obviously, you can use tools and IDs like Tray to vibe code, but believe me, if you don't know and if you don't understand the framework, vibe coding would not help.
Sir. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, Aditya.
Sir, I have a small doubt. Means I am done little bit in this project, like it retrieving the data with the Google API and the News API. Means I choose the first track. So it getting all the newses and saving in the PostgreSQL and summarizing with the normal Olama model like Llama 2. Llama 2 that I am using. Then the pathway is using for what the rank purpose. It returning very slowly, sir. Means if I am asking something, means it telling very slowly. How to increase the speed or what? Means I am using CPU only.
Yeah, you don't need a GPA first of all. I mean, thanks for your question. Uh,
Hmm.
See, I could only get that you're using Llama to using Olama. I think you're deploying it privately, right? Or no?
Yes, sir. Means it is running in local.
Okay. See, I mean, you can obviously use a cloud provider also. Like you can also go with Gemini. You know why you're saying that, but it's
But
cheap.
RAG is using for not want to leak our data to others, so we can use the local models for RAG method. So we can easily push our document to that and we can ask something from that. So I am got practice in that for using local model for the RAG.
I mean, that's actually a good question. If you want some like total privacy and total security on your system, then you can obviously use tools like Olama, which are
Okay.
with Pathway. I can obviously point you to the right blog for this. Like if you need to a step-by-step process to use private RAG system with Pathway,
Hmm.
right? But coming back to your question, what are your system specifications? I mean, Olama, if you're running the model locally, then obviously it would be slow, right? Because you're not making a direct API call, but yeah.
The model working good, sir. For retrieving the means I'm stored in the database for taking that. If I'm asking, for example, take this like I'm asking today's what are the things happen in America means some articles are saved in my database. It retrieving some 30 articles and taking into Olama and means it happening some more time the pathway batches are loading in that then it telling working correctly but taking too much time for that means if
Okay.
I got for presentation in 5 minutes means it take 2 minutes I think means it take 1 minute I think for two messages it take 2 minutes means how to represent my project as good.
Okay. So, Pratham, can you provide me with his number? I'll probably connect why it's taking so much time, but I'll probably point out to the right blog, which would probably help you in this case. I don't know what exactly did you follow, but one sec.
So I
Uh,
think he's also not using Pathway, right? He's using some other DB for this.
oh, he's using other DB. He's not using Pathways Vector Store.
That's what I thought he said. Your voice is a bit unclear, Aditya. Can you clear it for us? What are you using?
Sir, for which you asking means for saving the articles I'm using
Yeah,
PostgreSQL.
yeah. So he's using
For that
Postgres
vector
SQL.
database using that pathway.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Hmm.
Okay, then you can share your number on the group, Aditya.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably see what exactly you're using. Why is it not optimized? Uh,
Hmm.
I think private track works, no? I mean, point you to the correct repo as of now. So as you can see here, this is the LLM app repo which you would have starred. So this is the private track example. You can probably go through this. If you have any issues, I'll probably see to it again. Right?
Okay, sir. I will see
So,
this and if any doubt means I will ask you.
yeah. Even if you're using a database like Postgres SQL, which contains your data, you can probably change the connector in your YAML file here, right? Like it's uses a simple file system connector, but to read data locally, which is stored in your data directory. But if you want to use a Postgres SQL data, you can go to the connectors page and you can try figuring out. If you have any doubts, you can obviously ping to the Get Help channel of Pathway.
Okay, sir.
Uh, so I'll see for people who are receiving doubts, I'll probably show you a working demo itself. I think that that actually is better. So I'll probably share my entire screen. So I'll show you how I'm using VS Code, and I followed these steps which are there in this bootcamp, and I'm using this RAG with Gemini. So I'll walk you through एक बार जल्दी से, and then we'll obviously pack up. We'll see if you have more doubts, and I can take it for 5-10 minutes, and then we'll pack up. You can use Get Help channel for more doubts. So this is a real-time RAG applications with Gemini. And other alternatives, like maybe you can, if you want to use various LLMs from Hugging Face, or like the Adityan mentioned, if you want to download the neural networks weights on your system using Olama. So that also is there. So in this, we are using Google's Gemini model because it provides 300 credits. So if you have gone through this pipeline, you can skip to the step 4, but I'll explain to you in detail. So what are the key features of this application? Again, I've बहुत ज़्यादा बोल दिया मैंने. There's a live document store or a vector store. You bring your own LLM, obviously using Light LLM, which we are wrapping all the LLMs using Light LLM. You get accurate answers. Obviously, you can play with different indexing strategies. Just if you see here, um, in the app.py, obviously I have my .env file, which has. So first, I'll check Docker version, right? Okay. So my Docker version is 27.4. You can obviously check it after you have installed it. Then I cloned the repository. Obviously, the repo is there. If you already have cloned it, then you can do a simple git pull, navigate it to the current directory. So I went to the current this directory, and then I changed the name so that it's easy for me to follow. It's demo Q&A with Gemini and in Python form. There you obviously put your Gemini API key, Google API key. You need these two API keys. These are exactly the same. Then you obviously need to specify your pathway port. Where exactly will your requests be taken care of? Now, once you see the app.py, it's simple. First, simple imports, logging, OS, and then you import pathway as PW, various packages which you'll reuse here. You can obviously set up license key. So license key, I'll quickly tell you what exactly I mean by that. So if you want to, let's say, get free enterprise features, like let's say if you want to use some other connectors like SharePoint, or Iceberg connectors, which is quite cool. I mean, and if you want to build some advanced tools, you can get the license key. It's free of cost. So you can obviously log in via GitHub or your LinkedIn, and then that way you'll get a license key. And you can, instead of this, you can put the license key directly here, or you can obviously create an environment variable and you can put it in your .env file. So that is also helpful, and it helps you to access advanced features. Okay, where was I? So, so here, as you can see, um, you see that you're using Pathways file system connector, where you have these PDF files. Let's say this is about some, earnings release from Alphabet. Alphabet is the parent company of Google. This is the contract license document about between two companies. This is a random document, which is for processing the bills. know. So there you specify the path, you specify which format it is gonna convert the data into. So क्या होता है basically what happens at the end is that you store that data into pathways tables. Now everything which is happening is being done on the table itself, where you are putting all your data, even the transformations, or even parsing here, or splitting the text. You parse, you make the documents Genia ready, you split into small chunks, you embed them. Embed is same as vectorize. You convert them into numbers which your LLM understands, and then you put it into a vector database, and where you're specifying which indexing strategy I want to use, whether it's brute force KNN, or it's BM25, or it's usearch. Then you are obviously specifying the LLM using the Light LLM chat, and I have used Gemini 2.0 Flash. I'm specifying the pathway host and port. Port comes from the .env file. Now I'm initializing the document store, where there are four arguments here. One is the what are the documents, which is the sources, where is the splitter, which is the text splitter, parser, retriever, factory is the index, which is specified here. Once you do that and you want to create a RAG application, you you simply call a base Q&A, because I told you very clearly earlier that you need an LLM and you need a retriever. So the retriever part is taken care by the document store, and the LLM part you took care here, like by specifying the light LLM chat, Gemini 2.0. Then you build the server, you run the server, and then you do a simple pw.run, right? And if you can see, this application is running on localhost 850. I can also show you one second. So as you can see, this application is running. I did a simple thing. Those of you who have doubts, I think Arnav had pinged me earlier. I simply did a Docker compose build and a Docker compose up while I open my Docker file here. It's very simple. I have my Docker desktop installed and opened in my system. I do a simple Docker compose build and a Docker compose up. This will start the pipeline, and you can use this UI to ask questions. So let's say if I want to ask what are the terms and conditions of this contract, it is retrieving response. I think the latency is very low itself. I don't know what's the issue with you guys, but obviously if you have encountered more errors, you can ping me or ping in the get help channel. That is actually advised, the latter part. But yeah, so I'll show you the magic. If let's say this is the this thing, no? So let's say this document I'm deleting. I'll delete the file here, and obviously now the information is there, no? So I'll probably say what um, are the two parties. Yeah. So it says there is no information found, because um, right now only I showed you that there is no document which contains the contract, and I deleted it, right? If I upload it again and I ask the same question, it will give the answer. Obviously, it's same. Like you delete it, you don't get the information. You add it, you get the information. So this is the magic. This is what I mean by what you show in your demo video. You show before and after things. Like before and after you updated your indexing or your file directory, you get the changed answer, or you don't get the answer at all in this case. So I mean, hopefully I was able to clear a lot of doubts here. If you still have, I'll wait here, and I can take more of your doubts. Do you provide a hands-on example of this project? Right now, only I showed Divya, no? Divya Varshini, I just showed it right now. The demo. I just followed the exact same steps which are present in the bootcamp, and I was able to run it using Docker. For a Rishi says, for a beginner like me who have heard this whole stream and did not get anything, it's completely fine. I'll share with you the slides. You use your AI models to get the hang of it. You go through the documentation, like I said, and then you probably um, get started with Pathway. Aryan Shinde, I have a project which gets data on the database. So we're planning to index the data from the project and build a RAG. Yeah, that is exactly the use case which I kept talking about. You can pull data from anywhere. We have 300 plus data sources. So you can innovate. Yeah, I think, I don't know, Pratham, what should I do? Should I wait? Yeah, or what?
Yes. Think anyone has doubt? Yeah, anyone want to discuss any project or any idea with Saksham sir? They can discuss.
Hi, actually, I'm absolute beginner with this all this stuff. Just want to ask that what tech stack should I go for this hackathon, including Pathway? I know
What
Python.
what tech stack, right?
Yeah, actually, you mentioned about few stuff like Streamlit and Kafka for this hackathon beside Pathway. So, what should I go for ultimately? I'm not sure. I'm a beginner at this stage.
Okay, so I mean the tech stacks stays Python itself, because you're able to use all these components with Python. I mean, you can expose them. Um, See, the Kafka thing which I mentioned is that you're able to like create a message queuing system, like which Kafka does. If you don't understand it, you can search for Kafka, what it exactly does. It's a message queuing system. It has producer consumer things, which GPT would explain better than me, to be honest. But then all these systems are used um, to stream data continuously, right? To help us stream data continuously easily. But we have a pathways Kafka connector for that. You don't need to configure each and everything, right? You can probably start with an artificial data stream if you are working with Kafka, or you can simply build an agentic application where, let's say, you have an API source, you have some documents in your document store, and then before the LLM gives you a final answer to your question, it goes through each and everything, like maybe multiple data sources.
Okay.
Yeah. Was I clear or not? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you were clear, but my only doubt remains that I mean, how can we ultimately use pathware here? That's
Like,
what's the doubt.
like you have the basic knowledge of AI, like some RAG.
No, actually, I only know about Python only. I don't have knowledge about AI.
Okay, like
What exactly do you know in Python? Like, let's say if you have worked with
In
Python,
Python, I know everything. I mean, I have worked with it for 3 years. It's not
even
an
if
issue.
even if let's say you work with maybe let's say pandas or numpy, they are also your
Yeah,
transformations on data
I
itself,
have
right?
worked with it.
You're changing data, you're opening some CSV file, and then you're making transformations, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
That exact same thing you can use with pathway. If let's say you have a project in mind where you want to use pandas, you can do that with pathway. Just the difference is that pathway gives you the information in real time, and pandas would, the pipeline which you make using pandas would stay static.
Okay,
Even if, see, the thing is, difference itna sa hai, कोई भी connector में there are two modes. One is the static, one is the streaming mode.
ठीक
If
है.
you work your application with static data, no, with pathway, even if you
Mhm.
change your mode to streaming, जैसे एक connector की एक argument में जाके change कर दिया बस mode, it gets very easy to build with pathway, even if you have a streaming data source. So that is the exact point of using pathway.
अच्छा, और हमको इसमें कोई यू कैन से जीपीटी का यूज करने का जरूरत है क्या?
GPT is the LLM model. जो आप
ओके.
पूरा रैक चैटबॉट बनाते हो ना, जैसे मैंने बारी बार बोला, यू हैव अ रिट्रीवर एंड यू हैव एन LLM. जो रिट्रीवर वाला कंपोनेंट है, यू कैन यूज वेरियस फ्रेमवर्क्स, बट नन ऑफ दोस फ्रेमवर्क्स व्हिच प्रोवाइड यू विद, जैसे आपका डेटा चेंज हुआ वैसे ही आपके क्वेश्चंस के जो आंसर्स हैं वो भी चेंज हुए. नन ऑफ द फ्रेमवर्क्स प्रोवाइड दैट, है ना. एवरीवन, आई मीन, the only framework where you can put your system into production and work with your data which is constantly changing is pathway.
ऑलराइट.
There you
ओके.
can use pathways components, various components like
ओके.
text editor, like connectors, maybe parsers, and then yeah.
ठीक है. एंड फॉर रेफरेंस के लिए आई थिंक आई कैन यूज दैट पाथवे डॉक्यूमेंट, राइट? एंड
Yeah,
फॉर
I shared, I think if you're in the
हाँ,
group, I
आई
shared
हैव.
proper yeah,
ओके,
bootcamp
ओके,
material which is there. You can follow that.
ओके.
anyone has any doubt?
Yeah, I have a small doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chirag.
As they mentioned, we have to use try ID compulsorily, or we can use any other ID.
Like it's recommended you can, it's recommended you use tray ID, but if you are comfortable with the cursor or other ID, but I will highly recommend you check out tray.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean that I think Vibhor answered only. देखो ID में तो कुछ भी use करो. If you want to use AI assisted coding, that is fine. The only difference is अगर आपको पता नहीं लग रहा पाथवे में क्या हो रहा है, जो आपका मॉडल है कोई भी अ, है ना, आईडी में या कोई भी कोड एडिटर में वो चीज वर्क नहीं करता. मैंने बहुत प्रोजेक्ट्स देखे हैं जो लोग सिर्फ 5 कोड कर देते हैं, उनको लगता है हो जाएगा, नहीं होता. अनलेस
नहीं
एंड
मतलब मैं कर्सर यूज कर रहा हूँ इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ.
मतलब
Like
कर्सर.
it's a recommendation. You can check out tray. It's a
Okay, okay.
recommendation.
Okay, okay.
Trey is a sponsor, right? So obviously they would want to use their ID. So
Okay,
you
fine, fine.
shift from cursor to tray and then वो तो आधे घंटे का काम है ना, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Any more doubts? I'm here only. It's fine.
Like, yeah, guys, you can discuss your project idea. Yeah, like you, section will help you to find your ideas.
No,
Anyways,
sir,
I'll be meeting
some
you. I'll be meeting you in Bangalore itself, so it's fine. We can also interact there. But yeah.
सर कोई सैंपल प्रोजेक्ट्स होगा क्या? आई मीन वेबसाइट पे.
So for that, you can probably go to the developer blogs and you can go into the community section.
ओके, ओके, फाइन,
Yeah.
थैंक्स.
There you can see how exactly projects are implemented. You can obviously go through the boot camp. That is very actually very helpful for the beginners.
Okay. You meant developer section में है ना?
Yeah, the first section you go to community and then you yeah.
Got it. Thanks.
Does anyone want any discussion with Saksham? Like if you have any doubt, just let us know.
Yeah.
एक और डाउट फॉर विंडोज के लिए कोई सोल्यूशन आप बोला था कि पाथवे कंपेटेबल नहीं होगा, क्योंकि मैं ट्राई किया डाउनलोड करने के लिए, वो कंपेटेबल नहीं हुआ। मतलब कोई सोल्यूशन है इसके?
देखो, if you follow the exact steps जो मैंने भेजे, it will work. It worked on my system. I tried to work it in Windows itself. चला वो वहाँ पे भी चल पड़ा, हर जगह चल पड़ा. But you need to obviously have Docker and everything installed. So for that I would recommend कि proper exactly bootcamp के hands-on module section के साथ चले जाओ. Like you read through it. इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है.
Okay.
Right? All right, then I think I'll see you guys if you have more doubts. Okay, does the prototype, 1 second. Does the prototype have any added advantage during presentation? Yes, it has, no?
Like you have to must show the prototype, because it's a hackathon, not an ideathon. So you have to show something to the judges or mentor,
Yeah.
which can validate your work.
Can we do it in Visual Code? I think उन्होंने बताया Vibhor ने from Geek Room that you need to use Tray. It's better because it is actually sponsoring the hackathon also alongside us. So yeah. I think it's done from my end. We'll probably I'll probably get going now, but you can ping me on the Get Help channel as well.
Like like it's a free, like just like Cursor, it's a free tier and the paid tier. You can use the free tier. Like it's a provide 600 some kind of messages. Like you can check this out. But like guys, if you have any doubt, please tell now, or otherwise ping me or Saksham Bhaiya in the group itself.
Yeah. ठीक है, thank you Vibhor. Thank you everyone.
I will share this live session recording after this meet.
Yeah.
In the group itself. Thank you guys.
All right then, bye.
Thank you Bhaiya for coming.
Thank you.
Guys, we have also shared the RSVP form.